Welcome back, Maximum Octane. Hello, everybody. Still live from Fajardo, Puerto Rico. Very excited. We're at our big annual super conference. And so I'm getting a captive audience and just going out in the hall and pulling people in. And so they really can't say no right now. So I'm going to take advantage of this while I'm on the property. And I have like 1,000 people at my disposal. So there's that. So joining me today is a dear friend and colleague, Mr. Brian Hunnicutt. He has many, many certifications, but the one that probably most applies to what we're going to be speaking about right now is a certified executive coach, and he's also Profit First certified. So he's all about helping business owners not only make money, but more importantly, keep money and keep it going in an even way. And so thank you, Brian, for joining me today.
Thanks for dragging me out of the hall.
Well, it's sunny out. What else would you be doing on the golf course or the pool or the something?
I'd much rather be here with you.
See, that's why I love you. That's why I love you. So you wanted to chat a little bit with our folks about ATEX. And ATEX have a bad rap, and many times shop owners refer to them as prima donnas.
Oh boy.
Is this a justified stereotype and rap, or is it do they got a bad rap?
Well, unfortunately it is justified, but who caused the ATEC to be a prima donna to begin with is the question, right?
It is. Is this like one of those, is the chicken or the egg came first?
Well, it kind of is at this point, but what do we do about it, right? So if we look at an ATEC, the evolution started out as a GS or a C-Tech, and now all of a sudden, I want to be a B-Tech, I want to be a parts changing freak. And then all of a sudden, they get it's just like a business owner, they get that aneurysm and they want to be a business owner. The B-Tech wants to be an A-Tech. Why? Well, because when they came in, they are looking at that guy with the big screwdriver sitting on his throne over there, some of that massive box, and he's the ruler of the world. So we're teaching them that they can become the ruler of the world from the very beginning, right?
Some of those toolboxes now, it's literally like Air Force One. I saw one the other day with this L emblem. I mean, it had to be this big of an eagle. And I mean, they're very nice, but holy cow, if we are a little recognition dependent in our...
Well, when your toolbox costs more than your car, you might be in trouble, right? And so
there's that.
And it's funny. So now, the B-Tech, they want to become the A-Tech. And of course, we're really great at training. So we give them a ticket, okay? It's a check engine light, and say, go fix it. And we don't train them. We don't tell them anything. We literally laugh as it takes them a day or two to start figuring it out before I can't figure it out. Well, we thought you that way. Good. I mean, I don't know how hazing became a thing in the automotive industry, but we definitely need to get away from it. That's for sure.
I don't even know if it's intentional. It's like, it feels like, I think sometimes people really think it's the rite of passage, and that they have to go through that to become a better person and understand. And that's so not true. It's a crazy.
Well, that's what was done to me. So, and look how great I turned out. I'm going to do it to you. I mean, that's the mentality, right? So now all of a sudden, it's taken a day or two, and they haven't figured out the problem. Fast forward 5 years. They now, if they stuck to it and they've got some chutzpah with them, they can get it done really quickly. Fast forward 5 more years, and they can get it done super fast. It's like they're intuitive all of a sudden, right?
Yes.
I mean, they got that magic wand where, I can just listen to it. Oh, look at that. I mean, they can bypass so many steps on the flow chart. It defies logic, right? So back when they were at the 3-year mark or whatever, they were taking quite a while, and we were justifying maybe paying a little bit more for it. Maybe not. Some people only charge that 1 hour for a diagnostic no matter what, which, in my opinion, is a mistake.
I'm gonna stress out right now, and well, we took 4 hours to figure it out, but we can't charge the customer that. It just kills me. Unless it's because you put somebody that is unqualified to do it, then you cannot charge. But in most instances, we are grossly undercharging for it. And we are the only industry that does that. We are the only industry that's like, yeah, I spent all these hours, but I can't charge my customer for that.
So I liken that one to a plumber, right? Rotor. So you get up, you got a clog sink. You call up Rotor. Rotor is like, I'm going to unclog that sink for $125 once I show up, and it costs you $125 for me to show up. So it's $250 to unclog the sink. They stick their little stake down there. But come to find out, you've got a collapsed pipe underneath your foundation. It's going to cost $14,000 to unstop that. So you have to remove part of your foundation to get to it, right? But they're still going to do it for that $250. They're not going to charge them $14,000 because they misdiagnosed it to begin with, right? Well, I mean, but isn't it that easy?
Listen, I don't have any words for this because I'll start saying words I can't say on live things or recorded things. Yeah, it's insane.
Mm-hmm. So now the faster they get, they'll even get to where they can get it done in half an hour, and people only want to charge the customer for half an hour that it literally took them. Okay? Oh, you didn't take the whole hour. We're gonna discount this to the customer. So now all of a sudden the A-Tech is looking around going, I'm actually way more qualified than I used to be. I'm not making any more money. They literally will want to continue to do B-Tech work because that's how they get their money. Okay? You take that Lexus or the Toyota that's got the controller problems. It's a 13-hour job. We can get it done in 3, 4, 5 with competent tech. We still charge 13. We have no problem with that because that's book time. But you take what an average technician is going to do diagnostic-wise is 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. Our great, phenomenal prima donna A-Tech can get it done in 30 minutes to an hour by bypassing all of this. And now, how is that okay? I mean, at what point is the A-Tech going to just stand up and go, no, enough? And they have. And now they're classified as prima donna.
Well, and they get it from both ends, because if it takes them 5 hours to figure it out, the shops say, I can't charge a customer 5 hours, we're only going to charge an hour. But if they get it done in 15 minutes, figured out, they're like, I am not going to charge the hour, you took 15 minutes, so they can't win. And they do make a lot more money acting as a B-Tech and getting the quote unquote, the gravy, what they call the gravy work, right? And so we have so many issues with our industry is so far behind all the other industries out there, every other service one, charging what we're charging customers, what our door rates are, what we're paying our technicians, all of it. And that is going to be the downfall for sure of everything that happens to all of our shop owners. And why they don't feel value in things. Because here's the thing that's crazy to me. How many times have we seen a technician or shop owner, they're closing, they're moving, they're getting new equipment, whatever, and they're going to sell a toolbox or a screwdriver they bought in 1975 and they want more money than you could buy a new one today. But yet they don't want to charge a customer for 4 hours of work they put in. So there's something so skewed about their value, because when it's their personal property, they find the value, they stick to it, and they say, I would rather keep it than sell it for that amount. I'll give it away before I take that little bit amount of money. But when it's for people and blood, sweat, and tears, they're like, yeah, we're not worth it. We're not valuable. You're not worth it. And every time when they're telling their technicians we're not charging for this, they're saying to the tech, you're not worth it. You're not valuable. You don't provide value. And I don't think they understand how deep that runs. It's not just about the dollars. It's about the psychological message that you're putting out there.
Mitch Schneider. Love Mitch Schneider.
It's a legend.
The legend of Mitch Schneider. So, I mean, a long time ago. I don't want to make myself up. A long time ago.
Like when he had this Saturday TV show.
He wrote an article when Diagnostics first came out, and his brother was really great at Diagnostic. Mitch runs the front counter. One of their old-time customers comes driving in, has a check engine light. So he walks out to the side door, yells for his brother, his brother, come on out, grabs the scanner. He's talking to the customer, which is, while the brother goes in and starts diagnosing it. 20, 30 minutes later, whatever it was, it's magically fixed. They close the hood. The guy shakes Mitch's hand, gets in the car, and drives away. And him and his brother looked at each other and went, oh, that's never going to happen. I mean, so first off, it was a message in that article was about showing off. Quit showing off to your customers. And that really struck a chord with me. I mean, because we all like to show off. We all like to be that superhero. We like to be the superhero.
Not me. I'm like a wallflower. I don't like any kind of
no attention, right? They're the savior of the world. So I mean, we want that. We need. They become addicted to that. And now all of a sudden, we're an API come along and saying, you can't be addicted to that. You have to be the superhero by charging properly and to your A-Tech, not to the customer by giving it away for free. And it's, to me, we created the prima donna A-Tech by the way we treated them and made them stand up on their own and protect their own. And then the C-Tech comes and looks at that prima donna A-Tech and I'm going to be like that one day. And then he's going to become like that. And it's 2023 and we're still not charging properly for diagnostics.
No, we're not. And you just mentioned about being a hero. That I think out of everything, that upsets me so much when I see what our shop owners are doing, because they have to be the hero. They're so proud of themselves that they are the shop. They have the reputation in town that they can fix anything. So everybody brings everything that's wrong and every other shop can't fix to them. And they ask for that by bragging about it. And then they don't charge for it. So if you have a vehicle that was at 6 other places and no one could fix it, you better be prepared to pay the person that does, right? Just as a consumer. Because if you brought your car to 10 places to get painted, if you had 5 roofers out to your house and you had to keep getting somebody else to try to fix it, we know as a consumer, we're going to pay a heck of a lot more for that person that could finally get it right. And by that point, we don't care what it costs. We just want it right. And yet in the automotive industry, we do completely the opposite. We say, come to us. We'll take everything that's wrong. We can fix anything. If we have to pull our hair out and take 5 weeks, but hey, we're only going to charge you for an hour diagnostic and don't worry about it. That's BS. That's BS.
It's totally. I mean, and then I tell my clients, and I'm like, all right, so you need to raise your diagnostic price. Okay, so I need to go from 129, 149 to what, 198, and I'm like, no, okay, stop. No, I don't want you to raise an entry level diagnostic. I want your actual check engine diagnostic to cost your customers about $750 on average. And I mean, you can literally do their job, and that's not possible. I'm not going to rip my customers off like that. I'm not going to rip my customer. And I'm like, okay, so you just wounded and offended me by saying that I just told you to rip off somebody, right? Because I'm not, But that's how. This is a very emotional discussion point. Massively. I mean. It's like you're trying to take their baby from them.
One of the things that we always talk with our clients about is doing different diagnostic levels, right? And to have them set up and charge properly, and that to go through how to calculate that would have to be an entirely different. So if you want information on that, just send me an email at the end of this or put something in the comments and we can talk to you. But charging that rate, right? Because one of the things that people forget about, I think, is that when you have a job that's parts and labor, you, for the same block of time, you're making money on the parts and you're making money on the labor. And I'm just going to use 50%, which is too low of a profit margin, but just for easy math. But, if you have a job like from 9 to 10 o'clock that you're charging for an hour labor, and then you have a part that goes with it, you're getting the $50 from each side, right? So you're making $100 in GP for that hour. When you remove the parts from that same time, you only have the $50 one time from the labor. And that's what I think people don't realize, that we get to not double bill, but we have two profit centers, right? And for every hour that we're billing. And so when it's labor only, we're completely losing one. So we have to make that up somewhere. And if you don't set up levels of different, and again, that would have to be an entirely different thing. But if you don't have someone in there like a level 4 or something, that's a minimum of 6 hours diagnostic time, you're crazy, because you have to have levels. Because if somebody comes in to my shop and they're like, it's been a 6 other places, no one can fix it. You know what? I'm starting out with that level 4, and I'm going to tell them it's a minimum of this. And if they balk and say no way, then obviously they're not interested in getting it done right? So I'm not going to, bust my butt and charge you $50 to fix something that 6 other people can do. I'm not going to do it. And they don't. Or somebody comes in, we used to call it box cars. Remember the coffee can of parts or the shoebox? Oh, my cousin and I took the door panel off and tried to fix, the actuator. But here's some screws left over, or some grommets we don't know where, or pieces. You're walking in my shop with a box car. We're not starting at, our diagnostic level starts at 129 or whatever crazy things. Oh no, we're like, this is a minimum of going to be 6 hours or 8 hours diagnostic, and it's going up from there because it's just crazy. Who in the heck? What is wrong with? They come in. Can you imagine going to your plumber's office with a bunch of pipes and something, and being like, hey, here, I don't know what I did to my toilet, but here's all these pieces that I broke a couple and they were in there really tight. I tried to loosen it, fix this for me for $40.
Well, yeah, I mean, the brass pipe is actually, cut off inside of the wall, but don't take the wall apart, I mean, just because the connections behind the dash doesn't mean that, but so what? It should cost the same, right?
Yeah.
So I actually came up with 3 questions that helps keep the front counter and the technicians more in alignment, more in agreement.
Oh, I can't wait to hear these.
So, because what happens is, we're talking about the prima, donna, ATEC, and us are being the one that created it. But it's lack of communication, it's lack of understanding where they're coming from, because, it's us against them. I mean, front counter feels that way, mechanics feel that way, and it can't be that way. So if we're not going to, we have to create an environment that makes it where the ATEC feels loved. All techs.
So should I do a drum roll for question number 1?
So you get the estimate completely done, and you walk out to the tech and hand it to them and say, is the parts list complete?
That is groundbreaking question there, Hunnicutt. That is a brand.
Well,
no, I know. So many people don't ask. It's just insane. And they wait till after, but go ahead. So
they wait till after, and then the technician says he gets the completed invoice, and where's that commuter valve? Well, if I'm replacing the commuter valve, where's the gasket? I mean, I know it doesn't have anything to do with that part, but I know I got to replace it. So, but just, I mean, the 3 questions are not hard, but without them, the technician's now looking at the front counter like they're stupid. And the front counter's looking at the technicians like, well, why didn't you tell me? Well, I didn't know what you don't know. Right?
Remember the Bad News Bears, what they said about assuming? They had the little, what happens when you assume?
It's stupid, but you can't say that.
We can't say that, but just think the Bad News Bears when they had that little sign. Okay, so very simple. And here's what I just want to say. Most of the things we do in life are not that hard. We make them so much more difficult. And there's very simple processes that we can put in our shops that would make everyone's life easy, but we want to overcomplicate things. And for a lot of people, that one question, they won't just ask the one question. They're going to have a 10-page process thing and a flow chart and a whatever. And just sometimes it is what it is. So this is one of those things. It is what it is. Ask, where's the parts list complete? Don't go out there with an attitude. Don't be like, oh, did you leave anything off this time? Or
right. No, and write it down as I'm saying it specifically, because this is really tried, true, tested. It works. If you try and ad lib this in you're going to have to now go through your own testing process.
Well, but we love to ad lib because we like to make it about ourselves, and we have to be the hero. So you can't just take somebody else's very simple thing. You got to zhuzh it up, throw in some other words. And so no zhuzhing on this. No zhuzhing. Okay.
Number two.
Wait.
Where else can we add labor? Not is the labor right? Not you slow da 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 da. Where else can we add labor? Now, this one is funny because everybody that I told this to begin with said, "Well, yeah, but the technicians, they're going to want more." And I'm like, "Yeah, what's your point?"
Yeah,
they're going to want more though, Kim.
Yeah, so we charge the customer more. Isn't that crazy?
So how many times have we sold the job that Cadillac on that water pump cost us 4 hours? We walk out, we hand it to the tech, and he's like, 4 hours? We just had one in here 3 weeks ago, and it took me 6 hours. You know that. Why didn't you give me the 6 hours? Oh, I'll take care of you. Or I won't take care of you because it's somebody.
It's a vicious cycle.
How about just ask the question before? But we don't. And then we get the argument afterwards. And if you can't trust your technicians, how come you're trusting your front counter?
Right. And if you truly don't trust them, they shouldn't be there, period, the end.
Yeah. But if the same with your front counter, if you can't trust them.
Both.
So why are we looking at a front counter like they're going to protect the customer, but we're not looking at the tech like they're going to protect the customer? I mean, we still have to, it's got to be good for everybody.
I think a lot of times they go into the relationship with assuming that the other person's out to get them, that the service advisor is going to make more money if they shortchange the tech, or the tech's just being a prima donna and trying to do whatever, run up the ticket. And they're entering into that relationship with already a negative thing, instead of just being open to communication and saying, we're here for the same purpose, to provide exceptional service, to keep our customers safe, to educate them properly, do only what they need done, and all of that. And if they can understand that that's like a joint task force, they're a joint task force, and they don't look at themselves like that. It's always this, front to the back, and it makes it so hard. Makes it so hard.
ABC Auto Care. It's Bob's Main Street, auto. It's a team. It's not Bob's Main Street Auto front counter versus Bob's Main Street Auto technicians. It's supposed to be a team, right?
One of these days, I think we should do a pay-per-view event, and we just get all of the service advisors and all of the techs and do them in the octagon. And let's just settle this once and for all. Who brings more value and who keeps the company going? Because I always love when I hear that. Well, without the techs, you wouldn't be here. And then the service advisor, like, if we didn't sell this stuff, you wouldn't be here. And it's just, back and forth. And so it's like, let's just get the octagon. Let's go. Let's do a pay-per-view. And, we could raise money and put it all in a kitty. And so every time they undercharge someone, we can take it out of the...
I'm not letting, I want to come right out of their pocket. I'm going to figure out a way to pay them for that. Come on, though. I want it to hurt.
All right. What's number 3? Well, I think getting in the ring would hurt, but okay.
That's the pain they've earned by not being a team.
They have. All right. Are we ready for 3? Because I got to do the drum roll. Right. Ready?
Number 3. Once I sell it, how long will it take you? Now all of a sudden, instead of me being the service writer and me dictating how long it's going to take you, the technician, get to tell me how long it's going to take instead of the other way around. I mean, you're the one working on it, but I'm the one telling you how long you're going to take. It's insane.
I'm laughing with you, not at you. You know that, right?
Okay, but literally, before we start coaching the shop, how many of these 3 questions ever get asked?
None.
And bluntly, even when we are coaching some of you, it still doesn't get done. So, and I know that this is a podcast that goes out way beyond ATI.
Yes, it does.
So guess what? If you're in the automotive repair industry or any business period, and you're not allowing your front and your back to be on the same page, please figure it out.
Absolutely. Don't ever let them be. There's so many things with any industry with the divisions, and this division does this, and this department does that, and this. And again, we got to look at it's a joint task force. It's we're in this together. And we, hopefully every company has their mission and vision and values, and everybody truly believes them, and they're all there for the same reason, and then it makes it easier. Well, this was quite delightful.
Well, I'm sure it's not your normal. We did me and Kim. And I know she's going to kill me for saying, but back in the day when COVID started.
Hey, back in the day.
It wasn't that long ago.
I know.
We actually did a video series together on Back to Basics. And it's 12 videos that we spent our weekends of blood, sweat, and tears getting it created. But, it's a real roadmap on how to win.
Well, that's the other thing too with the technicians and the service advisors. They skip the basics sometimes. And listen, we're not saying everybody's out there doing it on purpose. You get busy, cut corners, you whatever, but you have to have the processes in place that we're not doing those things and not cutting corners and not doing it. And when you skip the steps, it's so many extra steps to go back and do it from the beginning. And all of the basic things somehow goes out the window, especially when y'all buy a new toy or a shiny thing, then that's all we focus on. And everything needs to be diagnosed with that, whatever new thing doesn't matter. Battery's dead. Oh, better get on that brand new alignment machine we just bought. It was $75,000. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Let's push the car that won't start onto the alignment machine because surely it has something to do with that. And we're not going to test the charging system first. So understand too, where the tools you purchase and how and when to use them. And it's not just the flavor of the month thing. We're gonna just always have the basics. Always, always, always. Right?
It's just too hard for people to accomplish, though. I mean, everybody wants to like the simple 3 questions. They'll reinvent those 3 questions. And if you just ask the way I worded it, specifically, no more, no less, and don't judge the technician when he's like, well, that's going to take me 12 hours. Okay, it's a 10-hour job, and now it's going to take you 12. Well, depending on the job, that may not be bad, but do we justify charging another couple of hours? Because now that's an opportunity to really look at the tech, at the process,
right?
What's really going on? It's not a means and modes of method to beat the tech up,
right?
But think about it. Wouldn't you rather know it was going to take him 12 hours instead of you think it's going to take him 8? He thinks it's going to take 12, and you just mess that 4-hour schedule up, and now you just lied to how many other customers because of that extra 4 hours.
You talk about how long it takes people to do something. I am so shocked at how many shops don't have a simple spreadsheet of here's the jobs that just like in the manual, the A tech, B tech, C tech, and where are your techs in that? Where, so that if you're out or whoever, the service advisor usually assigns the stuff or your shop foreman or whoever doesn't have something to quickly look at and say, this tech is totally proficient in these jobs, this. And then also becomes a roadmap for training, right? Because then you can constantly be looking and evaluating and saying they're still not where they should be at this level, or they want to get to the next level, so they have to start learning this. But we don't have any of that written down for any of our people.
We don't have comeback logs written down. You don't want to come to that level?
We don't even answer the phone with a smile. So, all right. Well, we just came up with about another 40 podcasts that we can do in relation to all of this. But for today, we will leave them with it. So 3 simple questions. Don't try to zhuzh it up. You're not Ernest Hemingway. You're not Steven Spielberg. Don't try to redirect. Just do as you're told. Make it easy on yourself. Just do it exactly the way that you heard it, right? So, Brian, in closing, anything you want to leave our viewers and listeners with?
I'll just say that, thank you so much, Miss Hickey. I really appreciate it. My oldest daughter called me up and said, hey, did you know that you've got a podcast now? I'm like, well, yeah. That's great. So I actually Googled your name, and oh my goodness. And I'm like, the first thing that comes up is your podcast with me. And she actually listened to it. She's like, wow. So that's pretty cool when you're
when you impress your kids.
Yeah, because
your grown kids,
you can't impress your grown kids. It's just really not possible. So you literally allowed me the opportunity to impress my oldest daughter. So
who is very confident and savvy in her own right. So she is not a somebody that would be wowed by anything. So.
Good to see old dad on the podcast. That's pretty good.
Well, awesome. I'm glad I could do that for you. So thank you for joining me. And for everybody else, you know what I'm going to say. Stay safe, make good choices, stay inspired, and I will be back next week. Thank you.